Are you a boner guy?
Oh, I was a boner guy.
You know what? I miss penis.
What are you talking about?
I'm the one who should apologize.
Is it going to be absolutely riveting? Is it going to change your life by any stretch? Probably not, but it's going to be at least entertaining, okay?
By the way, for those people that are in the back, remember to shut the fuck up.
Mental illness can literally drive you crazy.
I've been dying to say that.
Cuz-a-roo.
Slap-a-rooney.
It's showtime.
WATP. Welcome to a special emergency episode of Who Are These Podcasts. I appreciate all you guys coming in on a rare Tuesday night edition. I know that Uncle Rico show is coming up tonight. I know it's a Tukey soup night. So I wanted to get in and get out because what a day for Stuttering John. What a meltdown he had. And of course, another porn bomb happened on his channel. I'll be showing that. Looking forward to showing you guys what went down today. Of course, he took that episode down, but we have it. We have it here. We'll be looking at it. So I want to start off the original episode that he started doing. And he's doing his shows now at 11 a.m. his time, I believe, is when he's starting these, somewhere around there. And he's fired up. He's all shot out of a cannon. He's mad at Clay Dabbler and Flat Cat Jessica for telling him not to go after Dr. Steve, which was good advice. It's funny that every now and again, you would think John would just go, hey, maybe I should listen to these people who are trying to help me out. Maybe they have some good ideas. And I should go along with what they're saying and not go after Dr. Steve. Very dumb move to go after Dr. Steve. But John starts off, he's performative John here. He's going to talk about how much he's been abused, how tough his life is. Remember, he fluctuates back and forth between he's the Duke, he's been ripped on by the best, Artie Lang, Jackie Martling, Howard Stern. He doesn't care. You can't goof on John. It doesn't bother him. He's had way tougher opponents than anyone in the Dabbleverse. And then he switches over to this horse shit. And this is performative John. This is a performance. This is not real.
You don't know the abuse I've gone through. The abuse my family has taken my mother. My 87-year-old mother. The abuse all you assholes. The fucking potato.
Is your mom okay? Is she all right? It's funny because, so we're going to go into how much his family's been abused. His family seems to be doing fine, comparatively. I think they're doing much better than John is, but okay.
And Tukey. And that fucking Downsy lawyer. Oh, yeah. Oh, why'd you block Clay Dabbler? Because he's a fucking lawyer's moderator. The lawyer who calls the fire department in New York thieves.
Wrong side of the shirt, John. Let's watch that again. He's so stupid. Just change it to mirror mode, John. So when you're looking at yourself, you grab the right side of your body.
Moderator. The lawyer who calls the fire department in New York thieves.
Okay. So now John, who's been friends with Vince the lawyer for who knows how long, had Vince on the show all the time. Now I guess Clay Dabbler is Vince the lawyer's moderator. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't care. But that's what John's all upset about, is he found out Clay Dabbler is Vince's moderator. John, you're going to be friends with Vince again in a week or two. Like, what do you mean? Like, now we're supposed to know when you're on again, off again with these people. It reminds me of in high school. I'm like, oh, is my buddy dating this chick? Am I allowed to be cool with her right now? Or are they off again? Will this look bad if I'm friendly? This is what it's like to be John's friend. And not even John's friend, just a guy who gives John money that he will grace you with a text message or a phone call because he's a lonely loser alcoholic. Boy, John has no friends left. And he really showed today. Just everyone's going, all right, we're done with this. This is fucking annoying. We're out. So let's take a look at where his super chatters, when he was getting in all of this trouble with the school. Remember, John likes to pretend that the fact that he was fired, which he wasn't. He's lied about that. But the fact that he was fired from his substitute teaching job wasn't his fault. It was everyone else's fault. It was Bob Levy's fault. It was Muttering Jay's fault. It was my fault. It was whatever troll is that troll of the week's fault. John never takes responsibility for his own behavior. It's not like, well, I was obviously telling people I was going to beat them up and I was getting drunk on the internet. And so anyone could easily send a link to the administrator or the principal and they could see this and realize that I'm not suitable for teaching children. But no. Remember, it's everyone's fault but John's. And now, not only is it everyone's fault, but these people who give John money should have stepped in when John was getting in trouble with the LAUSD and done something about it.
You all stood by while I had to answer to the school district, and you did nothing. Where were you, Sunflower Dragon? Where were you, Jessica Flatcat?
What are they supposed to do?
Where were you, Dirty Deeds?
What do you want?
Where were you, Clay Dabbler? Where were you all then? Where were you coming to Stuttering John's defense? Where were you when they canceled my gigs?
Oh, here we go. Always the victim. What do you want these people to do for you, John? I'm confused. It's insane to me. He never understands that he's in control of his own life. John, everything that happens to you because of things that you've done. That's the thing. Like, you getting in trouble with your school for your terrible behavior was based more on your terrible behavior than it was on Muttering Jay, who tweeted at them multiple times with receipts, or anyone else that you blame for whatever bad happened to you. Like, everything bad that's happened to you, John, is because of John Melendez. Repeat after me. Everything bad that's happened to me is because of John Edward Melendez. All right. By the way, if you said that and believed it, it would change your life. I'm not even joking about that. It would be a life changer. But all right. John's reasoning is not sound at all. He's going after Dr. Steve for some reason. And listen to how he's connecting these dots. It makes zero sense.
And now, oh, God forbid, I go after Dr. Steve. Oh, no. What? Wait, that's not fair. Wait. Oh, the potatoes, all hangry.
Yeah, it's not fair. Dr. Steve had nothing to do with anything that you're complaining about right now. And so John's trying to connect these dots where he's saying like, oh, well, I can go. So this all stemmed from, let me explain, backtrack real quick if you don't know. John made the mistake of saying, I want to know what Dr. Steve's last name is. And what's implied there, and actually it's not even implied, he said this. So Dr. Steve was part of Hackamania. He was awesome. Loved hanging out with Steve. We all did. It's always great when he's hanging around. He's just universally loved in this world, the world of Opie and Anthony, the world of Howard Stern, Weird Medicine, Sirius XM. Steve does an amazing job of everything that he does. And I'm thankful that I'm a friend with Steve because he's a great guy. He's done a lot for me. And so John decided like, well, how am I going to get people in trouble? Because that's how John thinks. He likes to think that we're all getting him in trouble. He's the one who wants to get people in trouble or whatever. So he thinks that because Dr. Steve shoved his finger in Rocco's ass at Hackamania, that he was somehow practicing medicine over state lines or whatever the fuck. And he's going to get Steve in trouble for this. Or it was a bit, John. Relax, calm down, buddy. It's not that big a deal. So now he's trying to say that, well, people fucked with my gigs and my teaching job. So obviously I have to take all of that anger and frustration out on Dr. Steve. You don't. You shouldn't. It's a bad move on your part. It's going to piss everyone off. So this is the big moment. All right. We're going to get it out of the way early because then I want to get on to when he started up another stream and reacted to all of this. So he brings on Quadfather, who of course is his co-host on the show now. And what you're going to notice here, and I haven't read the internet. I don't know what Dabblers is saying about this. I was busy prepping. We just did a bonus show on our Patreon for YouTube members of Living in the Past with Stuttering John, where we're going back to his 2018 shows and analyzing that, which is fascinating. So I was working on that. Wasn't really looking at what people were saying, but there's no way this is actually Quadfather, in my opinion. I'm watching this, and maybe I'm the idiot, but I'm watching this and I'm going, well, John, you've been duped again, my friend. This is a video of Quadfather, and then this porn bomb happens, and he blames Quad Father. And I believe he started getting texts from Quad after that where he's going, John, I didn't do this. What do you mean? And John's not having it. He's just throwing a temper tantrum like a child. He doesn't know any better. But what you're going to see here is him bringing in Quad Father. You're going to see the most recent porn bomb. The only thing that I edited was the nudity. There's a penis and an asshole I edited out. And also the N-word. You'll hear it go silent for that. But you'll get the gist of this.
All the audacity. Hey, Quad.
Kill the Jews, kill the Jews, kill
Look at that look. I want to freeze frame it when that audio first came in. Look at John. Oh, what's going on? Kill the what's now? Quad's not saying this. It's not even his voice. Let's play that again. This is John being duped yet again.
Kill the Jews, kill the Jews, kill
All right. Very short. There's a picture of Hitler, a swastika, some other crazy shit was going on. They want to kill a certain type of Shuli person. And so John sees that. Of course, that is against the terms of service of YouTube. Another thing against the terms of service of YouTube that we'll get into is asking for someone's real name so that you can dox them and offering $500, which is something else that John did on his show today. Today was crazy. I got to say, today was a fun day. It's too bad I had to prep for my bonus show because I just wanted to sit back and watch. You had John go off on this crazy tantrum, and then Kevin Brennan went on early to snipe that and respond. The Melton went on again after he already did a 5-hour stream to snipe Kevin, sniping John. What a world, huh? What a world we live in. All right, so this is the aftermath. This is still his early stream that he's now taken down after he watched what we all just saw. This is his reaction to it. Dumbfounded.
Betrayed by Quadfather.
Oh no! The betrayal! The turn! The turn!
Believable. Unfucking believable. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. You fucking piece of shit. Unfucking believable.
Oh, that was an angry text that just went out. You can tell by the way he was typing.
Unfucking believable.
But can you believe it, though, is the question, John. Because it's happened before. I feel like that's something that you should believe could happen to you.
Unfucking believable.
Well, maybe next time, believe it. Oh. See, this is...
Amazing.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Amazing.
This is real anger. We watched... Oh, God, turn your fucking notifications down or off. Turn them off, John. I do not know how to turn off your notifications. You Google it. Anyway, he's an idiot. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that it was performative John to start off. He's like, I'm all fired up and flat cat Jessica and Clay Dabbler. And then that happened. He was like, oh, fuck. I think he actually was pissed about that, but I could be wrong. Zach Hoffman, $5. Ladies and gentlemen, today we witnessed the real John Melendez, vengeful, spiteful, turn on a dime, vindictive rage towards Quad. Susanna lived with that. Yes. And we see it from time to time, the way he was snapping at Clay Dabbler the other day. We were playing it on WATP. He's a prick. He's hard to deal with. Rochi, remember for 3 months, says, hurry up, Tukey soup starting soon. I know, we're hurrying. Mike's shitty internet provider, $2. Donna G's Poo, see, got that grip right. Marine Mike, $2. What a day. Props to Clay and Quad, FSJ. Agreed. Drunk Engineer, remember for 3 months, says the withdrawals really seem to be getting to the Duke. You think that he's actually stopped drinking? I think he's just broadcasting earlier. I love that too, where he's always talking to Kevin Brennan. There's someone who's not there. He goes, really, Kevin? I'm an alcoholic. It's 11 a.m. and all I'm drinking is an energy drink because I'm hungover from last night. How could you say I'm not even drinking beer yet? It's like, yeah, if you're drinking an energy drink along with your insurer, along with a bottle of water, that's a sign. Jay Loiter coming in with $20. This show is preempting my AWS developer certification studies, but I am intrigued. Also, I noticed you didn't do your Lisa Boswell impersonation in front of Jenny Jingles on your previous podcast that ended 10 minutes ago. We have news about Lisa Boswell. I'm actually kind of bummed about that. So I believe we'll have Devil's Joint coming on in a little bit to give us the latest update on our girl, Lisa Boswell. Michael C., I wish my mom wife would let me take a nap, right? I asked for permission, and she's like, you got more broadcasting to do, Carl. A lot going on today. I was like, yeah, you're right. Gobbles Monster Puppet. John having his Scarface moment. Say goodnight to the bad guy. Rumpled Trenchcoat, a Columbo podcast, $2. SJ and Vince is like Steinbrenner and Billy Martin. If you're a Yankees fan, you get that reference. Dead Baron, $2. Fluid. World Order. Love Dr. Steve. Love Doom. Remember for a month. FSJ, the turn is coming for you, John. You can't avoid it. You can't stop it. The turn. Colonel Clink. Sorry to disagree, Carl. This is not performative, John. He literally is the worst actor in the world. Here, he's actually realizing his pathetic life. Maybe you're right. Listen, if I'm wrong about this stuff, I'm here for it. I'm ready to be told otherwise. Whatnot Chaser, $2. Keep playing this. I'm about to finish talking about the porn Bob. Circus Grenade with $10. I know Circus Grenade. Eddie and Doug from the Jules Department are enjoying deer steaks and enjoying the show with deer steaks and petting cats. No shit. You guys are hanging out tonight? Well, thanks for watching. Say hi to the cats for me. Say hi to Eddie. Circus Grenade. Good to see you, buddy. L. Mulder won $100. Just want to recognize Carl for putting the effort into this amazing show and exposing this dolt. Great work, guys. Well, thank you very much for that. You get one of these.
Yay, super chats.
Thank you, L. Mulder 1. That is a big super chat, and it is appreciated. Principal Uncertainty has been a member for 3 months. Carl did 2 emergency episodes to celebrate Pride. That's right. We did that on the Creep Off yesterday as well. We had Creepiest L's. Ozen Pig, $2. Dude, he is seething. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to get into when he started his new stream up in just a second, and you'll see he's not a happy camper. It's not withdrawals. It's sociopathy. Sociopathy. It's one of those things. Spaghetti Farks comes in with $5. When SJ yells, I feel like his skull is about to pop out. He's not long for this world the way he's acting. He needs to relax. He needs to calm down. He needs some magic mind. I would actually recommend. Hamhead, remember for 2 months. Just imagine if you had been playing a dulcimer and not a mandolin, you would have had to end the podcast. FSJ, FQF, F Quadfather, FCD. All right, there's a lot of things that could have happened. I want to play the what would have happened game with you, sir. Let's get into after that happened. John comes on his normal broadcast, and he's fired up.
Well, there you have it. I guess that was Quad's endgame, his big troll. Show's deleted. No nudity. Poorly done.
There was a gaping asshole that I censored on my broadcast. You might have missed it. It was quick. There was some nudity. But John took it down. And what's crazy is that John's like, oh, this was Quad's endgame. Like Quad's been for 5+ months, been John's sidekick and agreeing with everything John says. And yes, sir. 100%, sir. Everything you say is correct, sir. And so all of that was for that moment. I doubt it. Maybe. I'd like to think that Quad had a better plan than that. But I don't think that was Quad's doing. I really don't.
Poorly done. And the shit he says is no worse than what Vince the lawyer says in that fucking N-word bomb. That's what the Quad's end game was?
Does Vince the lawyer say kill the Jews? I don't watch his show very often. Maybe he does.
To do that? All these conversations? That was his end game. That was his end game. Well, that's okay. He'll always be in a wheelchair. That's right. I win.
Wow. Human garbage. John, you are human garbage. And we all knew this would happen. We all knew that as soon as you felt slighted by Quadfather, I don't even think he did anything, but I could be wrong. As soon as you felt slighted, we all knew you were going to go after him being paralyzed, quadriplegic, him being a Proud Boy, Trump supporter. But I did not expect it to happen this quickly. I win. You're in a wheelchair. Therefore, I win. And we were just talking about this on the bonus show where John says the way that he fights with like Artie Lang is he punches below the belt. He goes, that's how you deal with a bully. You got to punch below the belt, which is cheating, and people don't appreciate you. Like you're the villain when you do that sort of thing. So when you go after Quad for being paralyzed and saying I win, it doesn't make you the winner. In fact, in the court of public opinion, people will think that you're an asshole and petty. It's just not a good look in any single way. But this is John's mentality is like, well, he's not witty. He's not funny. So instead he has to be as insulting as possible. He has to talk about Artie Lang drinking bleach and stabbing himself. And he has to talk about Quadfather being paraplegic. I win. Yeah, good roast joke, John. Killing it. By the way, if you want to see good roast jokes, come to DabbleCon 2, August 16th and 17th. CarlsonComedy.com for your tickets.
Unbelievable. It's amazing. That's his end game, though. All those conversations, all the times I did his show, and that was his end game. His end game was to do that. All of this time, that's his end game. Well, I wish I could say I beat the crap out of him, but he's pretty much just a talking head at this point anyway.
Jesus.
Literally.
Oh, boy.
So, it's amazing. But to me, it's almost pathetic that, how many conversations I've had this guy on for 8 months now? And he was building all of that for that moment.
Yeah, it's almost like it's unbelievable. Like maybe you're wrong. It's almost like maybe what you're saying is incorrect. Dennis Michaels for $2 says, Quad's Twitter shows the text between him and John. I thought it was BYB. I don't see it on his Twitter. What's his Twitter? I was just looking for this as I was playing that clip. I would love to see what that looks like. What is, if anyone knows what Quad's Twitter is, let me know. Steel Wrath, $5. I had the perfect lawyer for John. She worked for a lefty governor and somehow can't pay her rent or roommate. Let me see if I'm just checking the chat real quick. Does anyone know what Quad's Twitter is that I should be looking at to find this? All right, let me know. I'm going to go back to the clip here. But if you guys can, it's boring text. Okay. All right. So maybe it doesn't give us any answers. Is that what you're telling me? All right, let's get back to John's aftermath here.
That's all. It almost makes me laugh. I swear it does. All that time, all the effort just to do that. Amazing. Fucking utterly amazing. Well, what are we going to do?
There's the
What are you
claw
gonna do?
hand coming up. How is that possible that his arm is linked to the rest of his body?
Look
Has
at
to
those
go
guys
up like
laughing.
this?
They're laughing at it. Well, you're gone then.
Oh,
What
this,
do you want?
this is where he starts blocking people.
Blocking all of you.
Oh, here we go.
Anybody there laughing. But goodbye, Philly Randy.
I was in that chat during this time. I didn't get blocked.
Goodbye,
somehow.
Adam Bush.
He knows how to spell my last name. You should have seen me in there.
Goodbye, Manchita.
What a pussy. What a giant
Goodbye, old
pussy.
Craig.
Really? This is your thing? You're going to start blocking everyone who's having a good time?
Goodbye, Raytard.
Not retard.
Goodbye, Whatnot Chaser.
Oh no, Whatnot Chaser. He's a legend. This is like D-Day. Holy
Goodbye,
shit.
Milwaukee.
This is crazy. We're gonna fuck Juneteenth. This is gonna be our national Dabbleverse holiday, I think, going forward. June
Goodbye,
11th.
Giano family. Goodbye, shit show.
What a show he's got.
Goodbye, chicken boy.
This is insane.
Goodbye, violin.
Yeah, your life's going perfect, John. This is exactly what you wanted to have happen. You're killing it.
Goodbye. Keep it up. I'll block all you fucking guys. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Well, I don't know if that's a
I
good
don't
strategy.
give a fuck.
I mean, most people who watch you hate watch you, so I don't know if blocking everyone is going to be good for your bottom line, John. I feel like that's probably a bad strategy. I want to thank the over 1,800 people who are watching us right now. Thank you very much for tuning into this emergency broadcast. I know there's other emergency broadcasts going on tonight, so we wanted to sneak this one in, and I appreciate you guys for being here. Like Isaac's, Baruch's, Wholesome, Gabagool. Carl, thoughts on the NBA Finals? Can't stand Boston winning another one because their fans are dummy heads. But Mavs have Mark Cuban, unsure who to back. So I watched the game last night. I was actually surprised. Dallas seems to be a one-man team right now, and Boston's handling them very well. Things will change. Boston has an injury. They're going back to Dallas. But I was talking to Vinny today, who's a big Celtics fan, and he was very confident, or was it yesterday? He was very confident it would be a sweep. I don't know about that. I'm more interested in the NHL. Florida looks really good. Miss Charlie loves $2. Don't forget Clay and FKA are SJ ball washers. No more shoeies equals world peace. $2. I just got tickets. Can't wait for DabbleCon, my nougat. Oh, DabbleCon's going to rule. I had a meeting with everyone about it today. It's going to be a very fun show. We got some great ideas. Touched by Tony, $5. Defending NYC Dabble Battle champ. Just when you think he can't go lower, he shits on the handicapped. Or should I say, handicraft, hacka. Touched by Tony's talking about, we did a live show in Manhattan, and we did a dabble battle. And apparently, Touched by Tony was the winner. Congrats on that. Soft Weekly, my boy coming in, $5. Carl, I've watched you go gray covering SJ, Patty C. Cups, Jerry Banfield, Tom Myers. It's been great. Keep going. I'm willing to risk your health. I'm on the front line, Soft Weekly. I don't mind. I'm here for it. Here we go. DJ Q. I think DJ Q might have been blocked today.
Yay, super chats.
$50. FSJ kind of says it all, doesn't it? Hashtag SJ is trash. Agreed, DJ Q. Wasabista 666. John is Duke of the douchebags. King of all diffs. Town drunk, stumbling, bumblefuck, mutant maker, buffoon, FSJ for everyone. All right, people are fired up today. I like it. Peter O'Brien, $2. What's John's end game? A liver transplant? That's a good question. He says his liver is doing fine and his heart is perfect, so I think it'll be all right. Hellraiser 69. If John's mom actually watches his shows, she would have organized an intervention by now. Otherwise, she has as much, I think he means is, as much of a crunt as he is. I'm just saying. See you in August, Skull. See you in August at DabbleCon, my friend. August 16th and 17th. Copy at the CarlsonComedy.com for tickets. John Sweatbrain, 5 months member. John's completely broken. He hasn't a friend in this world. It's all his own making. He deserves all of the scorn heaped on him. Correct. I was saying this on the bonus show today, where the reason why John is where he's at is because of John. And he'll never get it. And that's why he'll never get better. Never figure it out. Rocco Orby, 2002, $5. SJ sounds like an incel who's mad that the girl he was spoiling put out for the quarterback. Yes. Agreed. Worst part, $2. He should have waited until John got a delivery. Dave Doors, $5. I super chat him and said, people with tough skin don't block people. He has nothing to say, but holy shit, Riley's here. Clippa. Just don't go black covering Eric July. So Riley went to jail this past weekend because of Eric July and the Ripaverse, and I gotta look into more of that. I'm glad you're free right now. You're a free man. messaging with your girlfriend about this, and we'll be covering it on WATP tomorrow for sure. What a piece of shit Eric July is. A restraining order or whatever he had against Riley. It's fucked up. We hung out with Riley and Mint in Vegas, and then the next weekend he's in jail. Fucking nuts. Nick JR, $5. Can't wait to see yourself and everyone at DabbleCon. I'll be there, buddy. Dingus McFirefarts, $10. Guys, can we try to be serious here on this show? Dingus McFirefarts. It's not your real name. SJ, Quad shits in a bag. I do it in a kitty litter box. He's a loser. I win. Quad, 100% you win, sir. Narrator, John's micro apartment smells like Quad's colostomy bag. He wishes it smelled that good. John's 28-year-old fermented sale at FSJ. That's all I got. Touched by Tony, $5. Got my signed posters to prove it. I want to defend my title in Crotchester. Ayo! I was actually talking to the guy who won at DabbleCon last year, the Dabble Battle. That would be the skinny Chad Zumach, I think he goes by. And I don't know if he's going to defend his title or what we're going to do. We'll figure it out. Madam Priest, $5. Really, Carl? You got him to shit on the handicap now? How's he ever going to reach these kids, man? The students need him. Yeah, I know. It's not going to go well when they review that footage. Douche of the Devil for $2. Quit super chatting the piece of shit. Yes. For Dr. Steve. Stand with Steve. Stop super chatting this guy. He deserves to learn a lesson. Frig Snowden. Quad is Marcy. SJ is Peppermint Patty. Peanuts references, guys. Peanuts references on the show. Let's get back to what John's talking about here.
Well, never trust a proud boy. Hey, he just showed his true colors. F the N words, what'd he say? And F the J's? Who's that, Anthony Cumia? He is a Cumia lover. There you go. He's a Geno lover. They like to use those words, don't they?
Isn't it funny that all the time we've been pointing out that John is praising Quadfather, or has, maybe not praising him the other way around, but whatever. He has Quadfather on the show and he goes on Quadfather show and we're like, John, this is not a character for you. You know, he has very different politics than you. It's very different. It's like, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. And then as soon as something bad happens, yep, I knew it. He's a proud boy. He's a skinhead. He's a racist.
While I wear the FDNY t-shirt, he does that.
Oh, yeah, I know. You're the hero, John. I love that wearing the t-shirt is the same as going into the buildings on 9/11 and saving people. Okay.
One of my friends went down in 9/11 who worked for the fire department.
That's just like you doing it. So thank you for your service.
And you got a certain lawyer who says the police department and the fire department loots places that they investigate.
Who cares? Who
Yes.
cares what Vince the lawyer says? Like, literally no one cares what he says, John.
Have it on tape.
Who cares? Gives a shit.
He actually said that.
People can say whatever the fuck they want. It's a free country.
Unbelievable.
All right, check your message. It's probably Quadfather saying, dude, that was not me.
Bullshit. It wasn't Quad.
That's exactly what
Clay
it was.
posted the link. Clay doesn't have the link. How's Clay going to get it?
So John's rationale is that he only sent the link to Quadfather and therefore had to be Quadfather. But remember, the last time this happened to him, he sent the link to Melton and Melton posted it in Discord. And then I think it was Ian Hawk or someone was the one that porn bombed him. So anyone could post a link anywhere. It doesn't mean Quadfather did it. Also, it's very possible people have hacked John's StreamYard account. He's terrible with passwords.
Unbelievable. Hey, look, you take this showdown, the whole Dabbleverse goes away.
Well, Aaron Imholte would disagree with you on that one.
You want to fucking take me down? Take me down.
What's funny about Johnny doesn't realize there's other losers, other pathetic losers on the internet. I'm the only pathetic loser anyone can goof on the internet. Actually, not true. Not true at all.
There'll be no more Dabbleverse.
Yeah, we'll survive.
Shitweigher will be going back to weighing shit.
Why? Is there an opening? I didn't realize there was an opening for that. I don't listen to Howard Stern show as much anymore. Were they still doing that shit over there? Okay.
Go ahead. Take me down. I'll survive. I'm a survivor. I win. I'm a fighter. I win.
Spoken like a real winner.
Quad, you will always be in a fucking wheelchair
Oh boy.
because you're an idiot.
Jesus, John.
You dumb piece of shit.
Wow. John's winning over new fans as we speak right now. I can only imagine his Patreon is blowing up as he's calling a person in a wheelchair an idiot. It's good stuff. And Lady Kmart, you were born club-footed. What a fucking moron you are.
Enjoy life in a cage.
Oh boy.
Enjoy life in your fucking wheelchair prison. And don't worry, Quad. Don't worry. You don't cross the Duke. Everybody knows that.
Oh, shut the fuck up. We all
You don't think?
goof on
You think your life is not going to change now? You wait for it.
What are you going
Wait
to do?
for it.
What have you done to anyone? What have you... I love John trying to intimidate us. Everyone knows you don't cross the Duke. What are you talking about? When have there ever been ramifications to goofing on you? You fucking moron. You used to intimidate people with threats of lawsuits. Everyone's over that. No one's afraid of you anymore. Your life is going to change. And by the way, Quadfather, his life seems terrible. I bet he would welcome a change in his life. Probably be great.
Why are you attacking Dr. Steve?
Yeah, why are you attacking
That guy took part in attacking
What?
me.
That says it all right fucking there. John wanted to go with I'm the victim, going after my family, and then realized, oh shit, I have no evidence of this. What did he do? He went after attacking me. John, Dr. Steve, just so you know, is really just the biggest sweetheart ever. Doesn't want to attack you personally. Has a lot of things he could say, never does. Always takes the high road. Is he a friend of the show, a friend of the Dabbleverse? Yes. Does he enjoy mixing it up with people? Yes, we all do. Like, have some fun, John. Grow a fucking pair. We're all just busting balls here. And you're acting like such a wet vagina. You're so unfun in every single way. As soon as you get your sights on Dr. Steve, you think that you got an angle on him. Like, he didn't even do anything to you. All of Hackamania didn't say a word about Stuttering John. I didn't have him on WATP. He didn't come up for anything that we talked about with John. Dick Masterson did. You gonna go after Dick Masterson? You want to dox him? You can find out his name and address. It's out there. I'd love to see John going after Dick Masterson. Let's see where that fucking gets him. No, he goes after Dr. Steve, a beloved member of the Dabbleverse and just a great overall guy. And why does John do that? Because Dr. Steve put his finger in Rocco's ass for a prostate exam. And so John's like, I can get him thrown out of the medical community for this. So John is such a piece of shit. Dr. Steve's only had fun in the Dabbleverse, never done anything to John. And John's like, I can ruin his life. That's what I'm going to do. Do you see why you're the villain and why people hate you, John? Do you understand? Like, that type of behavior right there is specifically why people hate you. All right, let me scrub to a couple parts that I was watching today that I really want to comment on. And then I have a special guest coming on because we have an update. It's an important update. Not going to be as fun as this, unfortunately, but nothing is. So John talks about this story. This is the craziest thing. I've never heard anything like this before. John was in the Battle of the Bands in high school. And he starts off by talking about how he got a gold star on his diploma. I wish I was making this up and making him sound foolish. I don't have to.
Still stand. I am the most persistent, motivated fuck you will ever meet. I mean, when I was a young boy, I set out for a career of fame. And you know what? I haven't even told you guys a lot of my fame. Do you guys know that I was elected to student council in high school?
No, that's amazing.
That's right. I was part of the political what do they call that?
Dork
Caucus.
Squad?
At Plain Edge High School, and graduated with a gold star on my
Cares.
diploma with distinctive effort because I worked with the school president to bring back Battle of the Bands, and I wrote Dr. Manley, our principal, a letter. This is how motivated a 16, 17-year-old stuttering John Melendez was. I wrote a letter to the principal after they only wanted to pay our band $500 for the Battle of the Bands. They only wanted to pay each band $500. I wrote Dr. Manley a letter, very professionally. Dear Dr. Manley, my band has played the junior prom. My band has played the trip to Fire Island. My band has played the dance in the gym.
Yeah.
My band has played Homecoming.
Uh-huh.
I did all of that for free. Now it's time you pay. The Battle of the Bands, I expect nothing less than half the door. Well, I was in homeroom.
What year are we talking about? This is like 84, 85, right? 86 maybe? No, it had to be 83. He graduated college in 89. I don't know if he graduated college. This is like 83, 84. They're going to pay him $500. I mean, my band still makes that much today to play a gig. $500, and he's like, no, fuck that noise. All right, let's see.
I get it. Someone comes with a note. The principal would like to see you. I shit my pants. And I went to the principal's office and sat across from Dr. Manley. He said, Mr. Melendez, what you have written me was the most professional thing I have ever experienced.
I think this might be a lie. I have a hunch that he's lying, and I'll tell you why. First off, this guy was like, wow, you wrote something professional. You can't do that today. I've read the professional emails he wrote because they all came out in the court papers when he was explaining that I can't find a job in Hollywood, so I can't pay child support. So I read the emails that he sent to HR professionals and executives, and he couldn't write anything professional at all. But now we're to believe that a 16 or 17-year-old stuttering John Melendez wrote a note asking for more money for his band, or half the door or whatever. And it was the most professional thing anyone's ever written. The other reason why I know this is a lie is because we haven't heard the story yet. And when you hear what he's about to say, you know for a fact this would have came out years ago.
A student doing. And your argument was beautifully orchestrated.
No, it's not. I'm a amateur band that was happy to play any gig you would give us. So we played all these gigs, and now I want to get paid. That's not a good argument at all.
And because of that, you will get half the door. Me and the other band walked out with 5 G's each. And we did 2 Battle of the Bands. We walked out with 10 grand each.
John is saying his band and another band each made $10,000. Now, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that Cheap Trick will play for $10,000 as recently as 2018. And John is saying he played 2 shows at a high school Battle of the Bands and made $10,000. John, I know you think everyone's as stupid as you.
That doesn't make any sense, Rick.
But that is the dumbest shit you have said. And I don't say that lightly. That's really fucking stupid. All right. One more thing that I wanted to play for you guys. Gold star in his diploma. He's so sad. But it's fun. One more thing I wanted to play for you. Because John decides to go ahead and dox himself like he likes to do. He's so fucking stupid. He's so bad at the internet. I don't know why he insists on using the internet while he's screen sharing. Seems like a bad strategy to me. So he's watching Patrick Melton.
What a fucking lunatic.
He's scrolling down through
Oh,
Hackverse.
by the way, does anybody know Dr. Steve's left?
Oh, so that's the video of him saying, I want to dox Dr. Steve and ruin his life. And that was a thing where people were just like, John, don't do that. That's a douchey thing to do. And, Quadfather told him, Clay told him, everyone's telling him not to do that, Flat Cat. And John doubles down on this episode. He's like, why? Fuck that guy. He's like, no, listen to people for once, John. But this is the best right here.
Yeah, everyone's like in love with this Dr. Steve guy. I don't even get it.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You're an idiot.
We report that one.
All right. So what he's looking at right here is someone posted, all right, so now that John is trying to ruin Dr. Steve's life, and we all love Dr. Steve, let's remind John what his adult children said at the wedding of their mom and her new husband, Aaron. Let's watch the video of their speeches again. And of course, that hits John where it hurts, because those speeches, we read them on my show, on a bonus show. It's all about, thank God there's a real person, a real man in our life now. Now we feel safe. Now we have support and stability. Everything's better now. I mean, it was so damning to John in every single way. So John sees that up there and he's like, I'm going to report this, because that's what John does. He's a little bitch, and watch what happens. He's putting in his email address. There's his email. And then that shows what his current username is on Reddit. Severe Parking 3764. Whoops. Did you want everyone to know what your latest sock account was, John? Probably not. I don't know. I think it's funny.
I don't even give a fuck anymore.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. That's John's combo. Oh, that's not working. I don't even give a fuck. Whoops. Abort.
Post them all. It doesn't really. Last name.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Any of this shit anymore.
Yeah. You know what? I don't even give a shit anymore. That didn't work, so I don't even give a shit. It doesn't matter. Fan-fucking-tastic, John. Well done. All right. Let me read some super chats. What did I miss, guys? What am I missing? What a fun day. I can't cover it all. There's other shows coming up tonight that we'll all be watching. It's at Quadfather D. It shows Dr. Steve was the last straw. Thank you, Dennis Michaels. So I'm looking at that right now, and I see the text conversation as Quad says, what time are we going live today? I'm trying to get some info for show. John says 11, thumbs up. What did Clay do? No response. He says, can we have Turbs on around noon for a report on fake memberships? John says, sure, man. You fucking piece of shit. Okay, so that obviously happened after the porn bomb happened. And, okay. So Quadfather wrote back, Dr. Steve is a great guy. And John wrote, fuck off. Well, that's interesting. That would make me believe that was Quadfather. Maybe it was. Well, in that case, good on you, Quad. Thanks for sticking up for Dr. Steve. I appreciate it. All right, here's something that I wasn't going to admit. But when I was watching this live, when John was talking about what's Dr. Steve's last name, and someone get that for me, I almost reached out to Quadfather, because I know Quad is an Opie and Anthony guy. I know that him and I relate on a lot of things. And I almost reached out to him just to say, like, hey, Quad, I don't know what you're doing with John. I don't know what your thing is, but you got to tell him not to go after Steve. It's not a good move. And I said, you know what? Let me see how this plays out. And I didn't need to do anything. Quad was on the same page without me saying anything. Most of the subreddits were on the same page. Obviously, Dad was anonymous, but even Hackverse and these guys. So good on them. Good on everyone to push back on John for just being a despicable human being. Stop doxing people, John. Stop acting like you're a victim, and that John acts like everything that bad happened to him was because of every single person he doesn't like. He loves to point out that he got a gig canceled and therefore he can talk about my dad's cancer. It's like, well, that has nothing to do with anything. I never got any of your gigs canceled. I never told anyone to cancel your gigs. I don't like that. I don't like anything that's going on offline in real life. Jay Loiter, $5. I think John is really upset his mascara is running FSJ. Past $2. VTL hiring FKA mommy as security while he ruins DabbleCon 2. Yeah, I'd be interested to know what that's all about. I heard somebody say, or somebody pointed out that Vince is trying to ruin DabbleCon 2, which again would be a dumb move. It wouldn't win any fans. Rebel Trenchco, a Colombo podcast, $5. I guess SJ isn't worried about karma coming after a guy who is gloating that another person in a wheelchair. Yeah, that's a great point. John loves to point out karma. He's like, oh yeah, Rocco's in the hospital. That's karma. And then he calls out Quadfather for being crippled. He's just like, yeah, my life's better than yours because you're in a wheelchair. Like, well, that also would be like a karma thing, right, John? Like maybe something bad might happen to you on this road trip you're going on. Barnes and Noobs. I don't know about you guys, but I always sound like a dejected piece of shit scumbag crybaby when I'm winning. FSJ. Yeah, John doesn't do a good job explaining how he's getting over on all of us when he seems like a little bitch. Douche of the Dabbleverse, $2. Let's take the motherfucker down. No super chats ever again. If only we can get everyone on board with that. Happy days, $10. Narcissists will force their own rock bottom. Ergo, go after Steve, Dr. Steve. The narcissist's subconscious mind is driving them to self-destruction every single day. You can't imagine the internal battle. I can't. That's why I'm fascinated with it. John's personality disorder is insane to me. Mark Abatista coming with $5. 1983, I paid $25 to see Van Halen and AC/DC. If John's band made 10 grand for tops 200 people, those tickets would have been $50 minimum. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so either. Remember, that's half the door. They split half the door, and it was $5,000 each show. They did 2 shows, and it was $10,000. Again, we're not as dumb as you, John. We don't fall for things like this. Cubics 85, $10. A 60-year-old drunk talking about what a good boy he was in high school is a level of pathetic that I've never been seen before by mankind. Also, he's lying. That's the sad part. It's not even that he's telling this anecdote about high school and how things were going well for him at the time. It's that he's lying about it on top of it. Like, oof. Yikes. You're making up this story? Michael C., $2. Does anyone know Carl Sheberger's last name? Yeah. A couple people know it. That's the thing, too. John's trying to get Cardiff's name now. Like, John, like, what are you going to do with this information? You want to weaponize it against people. Chad Zumach used to do the same thing. I'm going to get Cardiff fired from his job. Why? Maybe he's good at his job. Why do you think you can get him fired? You're just a weirdo on the internet. If the boss called Cardiff in and went, hey, I got this note from this guy, Chad Zumach. He says you shouldn't have a job anymore. He'd be like, oh, yeah, let's see what Chad's up to. And just show you passing out of your stream. Be like, all right, well, we don't need to listen to that asshole. Same thing with John. You have no power over anyone. Rocco Orby 2002, $2. Last time he got a gold star was in kindergarten. No, it was on his diploma in high school. A Scalzo photo, $5. I did the math, Carl. Battle of the Bands, half the door equals $5,000. Divided by high school students with no money to buy tickets equals SJ of full shit. That's solid math right there. You showed your work and everything. Koof, thank you for not killing yourself. And also thank you for coming to Hackamania in Vegas. Good to see you out there. Okay, I'm going to bring on a special guest. This is JJ, known as Devil's Joint. Devil's Joint is the man who has been helping out Helga and Lisa, that reality show, the moderator. Are you also the person putting together the clips on the Clips channel?
Yeah, that is my second channel.
Nice. Well, we appreciate
Helga and Lisa Clips.
We appreciate the work that you're doing. And you and I have been messaging each other behind the scenes because, you know, I'm a huge Lisa Boswell fan, and she has not been on the show recently. She's been sick.
Yeah.
And so we have some bad news. And go ahead and tell us what you know, JJ.
Well, Lisa was brought to the hospital the other day. Helga, being 78 years old, of course, is the caretaker, was Lisa's caretaker. Now, Lisa was homeless, and Helga brought Lisa and Lisa's blind. How do I explain this? Lisa was homeless and was had a blind person too that was homeless with her, him, whatever you want to say, right? So Helga brought them in, and then Lisa started to just become a very demanding and started to become the boss of the house. And Helga's kind of a submissive, so she became the caretaker. She does not want to do that. Now, Lisa's in the hospital. None of that really matters. The point is, everybody loves Lisa.
Yes.
This morning there was a show, that reality show where Helga's boyfriend was on, and he said something that.
Can I play that clip before we?
Yes, please do.
Yeah,
please do.
I have it ready here because Helga's boyfriend, Dan.
Yes.
Dan has not really been on the show before. It's always Helga and Lisa, and so Dan shows up on this one, and I have to say, this is not a good look for Dan because we all love Lisa.
Slightly above the knee, and I can't cross my legs. I'm Helga Man. He's Dan Williams. Welcome to Trainwreck TV. On with the show. God help you. And Lisa is still in the hospital, still not knowing her own name.
Days are here again.
Yeah, life is.
Oh.
Dan and Lisa don't get along.
Holy shit. So
Unbelievable.
we all love Lisa Boswell. I'm a huge fan, as you guys know. Lisa's in the hospital, doesn't know her own name. Sounds serious. Dan
very
starts
serious.
singing Happy Days Are Here Again. Way to read the room. And even Helga laughing there. Maybe Helga's been through a lot caring for Lisa. So maybe there's some stress there or something. But what the fuck, JJ?
You know, Helga, and if you go on, if you watch that, the rest of that, which isn't in the clip, if you just watch the show, they start talking about why they're happy that Lisa's in the hospital. Now, Helga does get involved in that conversation, but I know I talk to Helga multiple times a day. You know, Helga likes to talk.
Yeah.
So Helga has done a lot of things for Lisa. Helga's very tired and can't handle it anymore. And so she's not happy that Lisa's not doing well. She's happy she gets a break. On the other hand, Dan literally basically said, I hope she dies.
Yeah.
In a sense. That's
yeah,
what he said.
no. It goes on after this. That was the part I wanted to
flamethrower
play.
comment. Oh, I want to get a flamethrower for her room, Helga. He goes, no, for her. You know, and things like that. You don't say things like that about people, especially when they're on their deathbed.
Well, there's a couple things. There's some miscalculations going on. I don't know anything about Dan. I'm told he's a character in his own right, which I would imagine he would be if he's dating Helga.
Living in the house,
living in that house and dating Helga. But that reality show we discovered about a month ago, we started bringing them some viewership and some notoriety. And I know that Lisa and Helga both appreciated it. They were excited to get their message out. They're excited to talk to viewers. They quickly went to live shows and taking chats and responding to the chats. And Helga was going on and doing bonus shows and stuff like that. And you got to know your audience. Yeah. So for Lisa to be hospitalized, and it seems like not long for this earth, for them to go on and laugh about it, it's like such a turnoff. I never want to watch that show again.
Yeah, it gave. I was behind. I'm behind the scenes of all of that.
Yeah.
If you watched the show, everyone who watched this morning, you noticed that I disappeared after that happened, and the show just went on, and I didn't even shut it off for like an hour after it ended because I just left the computer.
I don't blame you. It's disgusting. I was disgusted by that.
Yeah. So I've been telling Helga, talking to Helga, or trying to today. She hasn't really been responding so much today. There is a lot going on. But the good thing is, let me say something about Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve was gonna give Lisa her, he was gonna drop everything for Lisa this Thursday. Unfortunately, she's unavailable. So he could talk to her, maybe convince her to get the right help that she needs. And the timing just clashed wrong.
This is such an important thing to talk about. As we talk about Dr. Steve and why Johnson's a piece of shit for having this vendetta against him and wanting to ruin his life. Like, Dr. Steve is such a caring person. He goes out of his way to help everyone. He was going to help Lisa Boswell. He moved around his schedule just to help Lisa Boswell because he sees that there's someone who needs his help and he's there for it. And the thing that John doesn't understand is that Steve has a lot of patients who need him. And for John to be like, I'm going to get this guy fired from his job. It's like, are you thinking this through, you retard? What are you doing right now? You're going to just create a lot more enemies for yourself, a lot more misery in this world.
Yeah, especially I said a couple of times today, if you go after Dr. Steve, you're going to have a problem. Not just, I'm not threatening anyone, but there's, a lot of people are going to have a problem with that. I live right around the block from John's mom. John's mom has nothing to do with this, of course, but
of course,
there's a lot of dabblers around here. Then when John visits, it might not be the best thing for him if he does something stupid,
Well, and you know what? I'm not saying that anyone should do anything to John.
No, I'm not.
I'm just saying
that, no.
Even the people who support him and maybe support him by insulting him $2 or $5 at a time or whatever. Like, John brags how much money he makes. He makes more money than Kevin Brennan. He makes more money than me. He's making all this fucking money. And it's like, well, that can all go away if people are just like, all right, well, I don't want to support this douchebag anymore.
Right. And it's come down to that. If he goes after Dr. Steve, he will see a hit. No
Yes,
question.
I
No
agree.
question. And Dr. Steve, he was going to talk to Lisa, and he still is going to talk with Helga, because now Helga's going through this thing where Lisa was her best friend, or is. So Thursday morning, I hope you don't mind, but Thursday morning, Dr. Steve will be on that reality show with Helga. So he's a guest Thursday morning.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, I'll tune in for that.
So that's a little plug I had to throw in there for Dr. Steve.
Awesome. Well, listen, we're all praying hopes and prayers for Lisa. She is in the hospital, hopefully recovering. I know that her health was not well going into this, so
yeah.
There's a lot of concern, and it'd be great to see her on the show again. I hope that she comes back.
Yeah, well, we can hope, but it's not looking too great.
And I just want to say to you, JJ, you've been, you just jumped in and just started supporting them and doing a lot of work behind the scenes, getting them to where they are now, where there's a lot of production, the show is a professional show, and of course the merch.
I made you a special shirt yesterday.
Oh yeah, did you make one of I Can't Digest Cheese?
Yes, sir.
Yes! I can't digest cheese. Did you know that?
It's the Lisa Boswell hamburger collection.
Can you believe that? Where can people find the merchandise if they want to purchase some?
Just go to the Helga and Lisa, or you go to that reality show. Go to their YouTube, or you can go to the clips and the links right there.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you, JJ, for hopping on. We were messaging today about this. This was a bummer, and I'm like, why don't you come on? I'm doing an emergency show. We can get an update to everyone.
Well, I really appreciate it, Carl.
No, thank you. Thanks for popping on, and thanks for everything you do for those two.
All right. Thanks.
All right. See you, JJ.
Bye, Carl.
All right, before I get out of here, and I know I'm pushing 9 o'clock, but I have to talk about fucking Aaron Imholte and the shit that he was saying about the reason why. He's got it all figured out, this fucking guy. He's unbelievable. So now he's going to explain why I am sticking up for Nick Rekieta or something. I mean, none of this is true, but I mean, truth doesn't matter in this guy's world, obviously. So check this out. I want to break this down and analyze this.
Honda with $2 says, Carl said it was your fault the cops busted Nick. You know what? I've forgiven Carl because I realized something.
All right, first off, let me just talk about that real quick. Carl says it's Aaron's fault the cops busted Nick. I don't say that. The search warrant does. The search warrant says people at the church complained to the pastor. The pastor went to the police. The detective at the police department watched Aaron's show, knew of Aaron from the Steel Toe Morning Show on the radio, watched Aaron's show, watched Aaron talk about drug use, watched Aaron review Nick Rekieta on his stream when he was out of it. And all of that was put into the search warrant for the reasons why they knocked Nick Rekieta's door down and arrested him, his wife, in April. So I don't say that. The search warrant does. But now Aaron's going to explain why I would come up with such a crazy theory as to say that he's the one who's responsible for Nick getting arrested.
About Carl. Carl's friend is Dick Masterson, and Dick Masterson has been sweeping for Nick to an embarrassing amount. I mean, some of the things these people have to say to defend Nick is some of the most trite third grade, I'm mad at teacher, anti-authority bullshit I've ever seen. And you don't get mad at them. You just go, oh, that's embarrassing. I understand you have to do that because they're your friend. I don't know, man. I've had friends who are, I've had one friend who's an alcoholic, and I never swept for him. You know,
So he's using this terminology now. I'm sweeping for Dick, who's sweeping for Nick, and he doesn't sweep, or he never swept, or whatever the fuck he's talking about. All right, let me just. So in Aaron's mind, because Aaron brings it up a lot, pro wrestling. He's going to bring it up in a minute. He thinks that everything is pro wrestling, and so we're all taking sides, and I'm team Dick Masterson, and so I like Dick, and Dick doesn't like Aaron, but he likes Nick, so now I'm team Nick because I like Dick. All right, here's the problem with your whole argument here, Aaron. You wouldn't know this, nor should you, but I don't give a fuck about allegiances. I was on Dick's show in LA, in his house, in his studio. And I had Ethan Ralph call in, who's friends with Dick. Dick and Ethan Ralph are buddies. And I called him out. I was in Dick's house on the show with Ethan Ralph, and I called Ethan Ralph out, and it was a fun debate. You should go check it out. It was a couple years ago now, almost 2 years coming up on. But I wasn't sitting there going, wait, are you friends with Ralph? Okay, so I should be friends with Ralph. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. I just call it like I see it. So this is bullshit, but please explain to me why I'm sweeping or I swept or whatever.
I was always like, dude, so-and-so needs to get help. Like, so-and-so's got a serious problem. Like, because I never felt you did your friend any favors by making excuses for them or guarding them.
Right.
If anything, you're an enabler at that point. But
Well, you did sweep for me a couple of times, and I'm a horrible pothead, but that's just because I can't use a broom.
No, I say you're...
Holy shit. I mean, these are your co-hosts, Aaron. Do you ever have conversations with them after the show? Do you ever review the... I mean, you used to be in radio. You know, your PD would sit down with you and go, all right, let's listen to some of this. This wasn't great.
You're a horrible pothead.
All right, so we're good.
And why is Aaron back to drinking Celsius again? Remember? That was his whole thing. He's just like, I was up all night. Fucking Nick Mercator's wife and my wife's doing blow and we're all doing Molly and I would drive back and we didn't get any sleep. So I'd drink Celsius and then he's like talking about having a girlfriend and drinking Celsius again. And this is the thing. Aaron likes to act like out of nowhere. I was just like, oh, I'm not going to like Aaron now. Aaron, it wasn't until you lied to everyone on your show for weeks. We're doing great. April will be back any minute now. Everything's great. And then you came out one day and you went, we're getting a divorce. I'm like, wait, what? He must be lying. This must be a work. He can't have been telling everyone he's doing great and everything's going great. And now he's getting a divorce. And then it turns out that he was lying to everyone for weeks. And he goes on and he was going on a show and going, this is a great show. We're doing a pro show. Everything's great. April's the best. And now he's going on and going, yeah, those shows all sucked. April was out of it. It was terrible. I knew it. Like, okay, well then you've lost all credibility. No one believes you anymore. Like, what's the point of watching this show if you just blatantly lie to your audience that you think you're doing really well, which is why I never say if I'm doing well or not well. I don't know. I'll find out after the fact.
And we're fine. I just don't encourage you to do anything about it because Lord knows you could use something, you know? But Carl's good friends with Dick Masterson. So Carl has to be on Nick's side.
I don't. Dick doesn't give a shit. I can tell you this for a fact. I've gone after people that Dick's friendly with. He's never brought it up. He doesn't give a shit. In fact, if Dick could only be friends with people that were friendly with each other, it'd be tough for him. It'd be very tough for him.
I don't blame Carl for that. Carl, although, at one point Carl liked me. So who knows? Maybe that snake turns around. Maybe we've got like a scorpion and a frog situation. But my fault the cops busted Nick. I'll tell you whose fault it was that the cops busted Nick. And here's a flaw in Carl's logic.
Okay.
It's Nick's fault.
All right. That is true. That is correct. It is Nick's fault. However, the search warrant never would have happened. You probably would have had Child Protective Services or whatever that is, that agency in Minnesota, because of whatever the busybodies were in the church complaining to the pastor. Like, the best you could have said was, these kids smell bad, their clothes aren't changed, they complain that they're hungry. All right, let's get CPS in there to check it out. Not a search warrant and a battering ram knocking down a front door. So it's different. I understand Nick brought all of this on himself. Correct. He also thought that you were cool. He thought that he could party with you and you wouldn't tattletale. So again, an error in his judgment, but
that the cops busted Nick. It's always your fault when the cops bust you.
Well, okay. And on principle, he's correct. But let's say I decided to get in my car and drive home from the bar and I shouldn't be driving. And let's just say there was not nigh a cop in sight and I drove fine. There were no roadblocks and I was able to get right to my home. I shouldn't have driven, but I did. But my buddy at the bar goes, all right, my friend Carl just left the bar. He's drank way too much. We watched him do these shots. He's going to be crossing over Main Street in probably the next minute or two. Whose fault would that be that I got arrested? Yeah, some of the onus would be on me, but it wouldn't have happened. You understand that, right? There's a difference.
You went outside your marriage. Now, we both did, but only one of us admits it. You went outside your marriage. You were remarkably immoral.
Remarkably immoral. What does that have to do with anything? But going outside your marriage and being remarkably immoral is where the first place he goes to and talking about why it's Nick's fault that he got arrested? That's dumb.
Brought your wife's boyfriend and your side piece to church with you. You basically insulted God to his face.
Ugh, really? This is, I mean, if this is the argument you're making, you're going in the wrong direction. You're going to take the long way. Huh? All right.
You showed up places all fucked up out of your mind and people noticed it. You lost 40 pounds in a year.
None of these things are illegal. None of these things get a search warrant. Showing up somewhere high, losing weight, going to church with your wife and girlfriend. None of these things get the police to knock down your front door.
You look like shit. I mean, you gave everybody, and then you did a stream where you gave everybody the opportunity to look at you and go, oh my God, he's a fucking disaster. There's fucked up on stream. There's drunk on stream, whatever.
We call it Zumach. But remember, Nick, no, we shouldn't have done that stream, but he did take it down. The police saw it through your stream, Aaron. You're the one who sniped it and put it up, and that's where the police saw it.
And then there's whatever the fuck that was. And you come down, you got white powder on your nose, you're all fucked up and you're doing that stream.
Yeah, you felt bad for him and you're all concerned. By the way, Stalin19 is the channel I'm looking at right now. Thank you for Stalin19 pulling some great clips.
And then after all that happens, I go on and go, this motherfucker needs help. They got drugs, blah, 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 blah. Here's what I saw when I was there. Here's what I did when I was there. Here's the fucked up shit that I was a part of.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. That specifically. You finally got there. You took the scenic route, but you finally got there. Yes.
You totally didn't help, but I don't think it would have. You might have sped things up at most.
You might have sped things up at most. No, you definitely did. You're the specific reason why there was a search warrant. It's documented in a thing called a search warrant.
They had more than enough before I...
Fucking Johnny Crutches. He's like doing the Kevin Brennan thing and the Stuttering John thing where he's just like, my only co-hosts I can have on here are dummies who just have to make me look good. It's like, all right, well, Johnny Crutches, there you go.
I opened my app. They had more than enough. And when I was talking about it, did I think anything would happen with the police? No, of course not. But I didn't realize how much the community knew about all four of us. I didn't know how much the community knew about how fucking shitty Nick looked. And I didn't know how much the cops knew about how shitty April looked. Remember in the search warrant affidavit, they talked about our episodes.
Oh, wait a second. So they were watching your show? And that's why the search warrant happened? Kind of proving my point.
Where April appeared strung out and high on cocaine. And I just recently was able to start watching those episodes and, oh boy.
Yeah, so it's melted. It's a lot of fun to go back and revisit with all the lies you were telling at that time. Aaron, you've lost all credibility with everyone. I hope you know that.
I would watch them and I would remember the fights we had after.
Now that's what you should have aired. Fuck the show. That's boring. It should have just been the fights you had after the show.
Where I was like, you need to stop doing this shit. And then her response was, you're a monster. You're a terrible person. You're a bad husband, blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
all right, so she made some good points.
All right, well, looks like we may be at an impasse here. It's looks like we may be. Well, I didn't know that behind my back, Nick was telling her all these copes about cocaine and why it was fine. And he just wanted a drug buddy.
Yeah.
Like, because I know Kayla felt guilty about how much they were doing, and I know she would raise questions about it. And
he wanted a drug buddy with a wet vagina that he could put his penis in. Like, I've had drug buddies in the past. It's fine. Hey, you want to score and do some drugs? Yeah, that sounds cool. April is a little different. April wanted to do drugs and then get railed by him. It's a little different.
So he probably didn't like that. Then he has me in his ear like, dude, my wife's doing blow every day with you. I don't like that she's doing coke every day. Oh, no, you have to understand it's okay because of blah, blah, blah. So he would tell me that stuff, and I'd go, well, that's a bunch of horse shit. But he would tell her that stuff, and she's like, oh, yeah, really? Okay. Like, April's a very insecure person, and if someone tells her what...
Says the guy who does a show hugging himself the entire time. April's a really insecure person. She's not like me, scratching my face and hugging myself.
She's doing is okay. She won't question it. She'll just go with it. And so he would, like, she didn't want to stop doing it. Here I am bugging her about not doing it. And here's somebody else, while he's telling me, oh, yeah, no, absolutely. But then meanwhile, going back to her and going, isn't he fucking annoying? Oh, by the way, this is totally fine. You can go ahead and do it.
Yeah, by the way, the guy who lets the girl do as much blow as she wants is always going to win that battle every time. Just FYI.
Like I said, just kind of scumbaggy David Koresh kind of vibes.
Yeah.
You know, with that whole thing. But like I said, Thursday's going to be very interesting.
David Koresh-like vibes. Aaron admitted he was going to move in. They were going to leave their house and move far away from his children, like a 50-minute drive, whatever it is, to live in the Recaita's other house. And he's just like, man, this fucking guy's like a cult leader. Well, then you're a sheep. You know that, right?
With Keanu. So as far as Red Honda, Carl saying the cops busted Nick was all my fault. Yeah, Carl's a Dick Masterson guy, and Dick's a sweeper. So Carl's got to do his sweeping.
Yeah, all right. Brilliant analysis yet again, Aaron. Like, proving my point for me while telling me I'm an idiot is not a great way to present that. All right, I know everyone's got to hop off and go check out. I know Uncle Rico's happening, emergency show. I'm going to get over there as well. Brian Cottrell, $2. A battle of the bands with two bands? Yeah, that's a good point too. Like, want to open for my band? Sure. Want to call it a battle of the bands? No. As long as I just do a show with two bands. Michael C, $2. I'm getting Dan Williams fired from retirement. All right, I get what you're saying there. Douche of the Devil versus $5. Helga was nervous laughter all the time. She doesn't feel that way. Dan is an a-hole and Helga has to live with him. He can eat shit. Hope you're watching, Dan. All right, Douche of the Devil verse. I'll watch it with that lens on because yeah, Helga laughing about Lisa being in the hospital, not knowing her name, was just that really, I don't know, it put me off, but I'll give her the benefit of the doubt on that one. Thank you. Dorby, $10. Aaron acts like the statute of limitations is 2 months. He's admitted doing everything that Nick is charged with, but then getting out, and it's all Nick's fault. He might be dumber than JS. Yeah, that is very true. He sits there and he's just like, the morality. There's children involved. And you're wife swapping? It's like, you did all of those things. You did all those things. You just couldn't afford Coke like Nick could, or you didn't enjoy it as much as he does, or whatever. You did all of those things, you fucking idiot. All right, I'm going to call it. Everybody head over to Tukey Soup or whatever's going on, Uncle Rico's show. I want to thank you all for joining us. This has been a fun little bonus that we did. I didn't know I was going to do this until like just a couple hours ago because I was watching all this go down. I'm like, I probably want to respond to this immediately. So thanks, guys. Thanks for being here for it. Much appreciated. Join us again next time. It might be the episode where we find out once and for all, who are these podcasts sleep? Well, every pony.
Farting in the mosh pits of morning radio.
Okay. Great show. Good job, everybody.
Great job, everyone.
World Order TWO.
Wait, what?
That's the gayest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Shut the fuck up, asswipe, and suck my cock.
This dude is fucking corny.
Home run, call me a home run.
Jesus Christ.
Drop.
No one told me there was going to be boasting.
This is going great.
There have been no laughs.
What do you mean?
None.
You know, who are these?
Podcasts.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Makes no sense.